Teachers, what's the dumbest thing a kid has ever tried? I had this bathroom pass system where students got 3 passes per semester, and if you ran out, you were stuck holding it during class. It worked perfectly at first, but then second semester, this kid Derek started asking to use the bathroom every single day. I reminded him he was out of passes completely since mid-January, and he said he knew, said he'd just hold it. But the next day he asked again, and I said no, and he just sat back down with no complaints, just went right back to his work like nothing happened. This pattern continued for 6 straight weeks, where every single day Derek would raise his hand and ask for the bathroom. I'd say no and reference the pass policy, and he'd just accept it and go back to work without arguing or making any kind of scene. I started thinking he was just testing my boundaries, trying to wear me down until I'd eventually cave and let him go, but he stayed completely polite the entire time. Then one Tuesday, the principal called me into her office with this weird expression on her face, half amused and half genuinely concerned, and she asked if I knew that Derek had been leaving my classroom every single day for the past 2 months. I actually laughed out loud and told her that was impossible, because I never gave him a bathroom pass, not even once. She turned her monitor toward me and pulled up security footage from outside my classroom door, started playing it back from February, and the footage showed Derek walking out of my room with the timestamp reading 1:47 p.m. right in the middle of my 5th period class. She fast-forwarded to the next day, and same thing, Derek walking out at the same exact time, and she kept going through day after day, where every single day showed the same pattern of Derek leaving during 5th period, always around the same time. I sat there completely confused, because there was no way I wouldn't have noticed a student just walking out in the middle of my lesson. I would have seen him get up and walk to the door and stopped him before he even reached it. The principal could see my confusion, so she rewound the footage and played it in real time to let me watch second by second. The camera showed Derek sitting at his desk in the back corner, and he raised his hand high, and I watched myself walk over to him and shake my head no, then watched him lower his hand before I walked away and turned my back to write something on the whiteboard. The exact moment my back was fully turned, Derek stood up from his desk, walked straight to the door, pulled it open, stepped out into the hallway, and the door closed behind him, and the whole thing took maybe 15 seconds from start to finish. She played another clip, and it was the same exact pattern where Derek asked, I said no. 4 minutes passed, then I turned to help another student across the room, and Derek got up and left, came back about 10 minutes later, and slid right back into his seat without making a sound. She showed me this happen 4 more times across different days, where each time I would turn away to write on the board or help someone, and Derek would use that exact moment to slip out completely unnoticed. The principal asked how I never noticed this happening, and honestly I had no idea because I had 32 students in that class, and was constantly moving around helping different kids, answering questions and checking progress, so I guess it never occurred to me to do head counts every few minutes. The next day I called Derek up to my desk after class and asked him directly how long he'd been doing this, and he didn't even try to deny it, just smiled and said, since the very beginning of 2nd semester back in January. Then he explained his entire system where he'd spent the whole 1st semester just watching me and studying everything I did because he noticed I had patterns and predictable habits like turning to write on the board at almost the same time every class or walking around helping students in a specific order. He tracked all of it and made mental notes and memorized my routine. Then over winter break he came up with his plan, and when 2nd semester started he began testing it by timing exactly how long he had from when I turned my back until I would turn around again. He figured out he had roughly a 30-second window where I was completely focused on something else, so he started using it every single day for 2 months straight. He even admitted he didn't always actually need the bathroom, and sometimes just went to walk around the empty hallways or get a drink from the fountain or stretch his legs or check his phone, just wanted to get out of class for a bit. He gained the entire system by being patient enough to study patterns that most students would never even think to look for, and I had to admit the level of planning was genuinely impressive because most kids can't plan what they're having for lunch tomorrow, let alone execute a 2-month operation requiring that much attention to detail. But I also immediately moved his seat to the desk directly next to mine for the rest of the year, put him right in my constant line of sight no matter where I was standing, and he never asked to use the bathroom again after that conversation.